Title: The Mystery of Exodus 4:24-26. God's Demand for Covenant. Obedience and Zipporah's Intervention. This passage from Exodus 4:24-26 is one of the most mysterious and debated verses in the Bible. It describes an intense moment where God, after calling Moses to lead Israel out of Egypt, suddenly seeks to kill him. The key to understanding this passage lies in the covenant of circumcision. It was commanded by God to Abraham in Genesis 17:9-14 as a sign of belonging to God's people. Breaking down the passage. 1. The context. Why would God seek to kill Moses? Moses had just received God's commission at the burning bush and was on his way to Egypt with his wife Zipporah and their sons. However, it appears that Moses had neglected to circumcise his son, violating God's covenant. Circumcision was a non-negotiable sign of the covenant. Genesis 17:14. Any uncircumcised male will be cut off from his people. He has broken my covenant. Since Moses was chosen to be God's representative, his failure to uphold the covenant made him unfit for the mission. God's sudden move to kill Moses emphasizes the seriousness of covenant obedience. 2. Zipporah's quick action. Seeing that Moses was in danger, Zipporah acted immediately. She circumcised their son with a flint knife, touched Moses' feet with the foreskin. She called Moses a bridegroom of blood, referring to the bloodshed of circumcision. 3. The meaning of bridegroom of blood. This phrase is debated, but it likely means a life-saving covenant relationship. Zipporah may be acknowledging that through this bloody act, Moses' life was spared, as if he were being purchased back into life. A reference to circumcision's significance. Circumcision was a blood covenant that sealed one's belonging to God's people. Possibly Zipporah's frustration. Some scholars believe Zipporah, the Midianite, may have disliked the practice but did it reluctantly to save Moses. Theological and practical implications. Requires full obedience from his servants. Moses could not lead Israel while failing to obey God's fundamental command. Leaders are held to a higher standard in God's work. Importance of the blood covenant. This passage foreshadows the necessity of blood for salvation. Circumcision was a physical sign of being part of God's people. In the New Testament, baptism and faith in Christ replace it as the sign of the new covenant. God's mercy in judgment. Even though God sought to kill Moses, he relented when the necessary step was taken. This mirrors God's justice and mercy. He demands holiness, but provides a way for redemption. Conclusion. This passage teaches that God takes his covenant seriously, especially for those he calls to lead. Moses' near-death experience serves as a warning that partial obedience is not enough. However, Zipporah's quick action and the shedding of blood bring deliverance, pointing ahead to the ultimate redemption through Christ's blood.